Grandpa in my pocket.
Oh, it's a hot day for tea. Shouldn't they be having juice?
My friend Dora had come to play. And when Dora comes, we have to play with Jemima's old dolls. Look, we've even got a chef.
Ah, Pedro Perfecto. Here you are, Pedro, a jammy jumbly biscuit for your customers.
We were all having fun, but guess who'd come to look after us?
Oh, I have never been so hot in all my life.
Great Aunt Loretta, Grandpa's sister.
Green gloop, that's what I need.
Green gloop is spinach and sprout shake. It's just one of the revolting things she makes.
Oh, yum. Right, now come on, got to clear all this lot away.
What?
Why?
We are expecting a visitor.
Who?
Mrs. McWhisket, that's who.
The Mrs. McWhisket? From Mrs. McWhisket Cooks for the Country?
The very one, Grandpa.
Mrs. McWhisket has a TV cooking show.
I met her in Miss Smiley's cafe. She is in Sunnysands gathering exciting new recipes. I said to her, if you are gathering exciting new recipes, you have come to the right place. I am going to make her the tea of her life.
Jammy jumbly biscuit?
Oh, I'm planning a whole lot more than a jammy jumbly biscuit, Grandpa. A whole lot more.
Oh, yes. Today there would be more than a biscuit for Mrs. McWhisket. Mrs. McWhisket does a TV show called Mrs. McWhisket Cooks for the Country. She is great at stirring and whisking and mashing. And she makes really extraordinary food, like the Jelly Mountain and the Vegetable Volcano and the Field of Fruit.
Ah, a field of fruit. That's my favourite Mrs. McWhisket recipe.
We'd set up the dolls' tea party again, but we weren't going to have much time to play.
Jason! Dora!
Coming!
In fact, Jason, if Aunt Loretta is going to try and make some of her revolting food for Mrs. McWhisket, I think we ought to try and stop her. And to do that, I need to be small.
Not a shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can!
Now, as you know, when Grandpa's small, he can run so fast I can't catch him. He can fly off in my toy plane. He can whiz about in my toy car. I had no idea where he'd got to or what he was planning.
Jason!
I had to go and help Great Aunt Loretta to make Mrs. McWhisket's tea.
Trust Grandpa to have gone for a little lie down. Ah! Right now then, have we got everything ready for sardines and bananas on toast, cauliflower cake with cockles and jam, seaweed jelly and mustard, and lobster and lettuce ice cream. Ooh.
Great Aunt Loretta was making her weirdest tea ever. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Grandpa running in. And guess what? He was dressed as Pedro Perfecto. He jumped onto the dresser and then told me to get everyone out in the garden.
Seaweed and the jelly.
Great Aunt Loretta, why don't we pick some tomatoes from the garden? I think they'd go really well with the, lobster and lettuce ice cream.
Ooh, you're really catching on, you two. Ooh, go on then, out you go.
So we went into the garden and Great Aunt Loretta went to the dresser.
Oh, I thought I told them to put all the dolls in the other room. Oh, I don't like the looks of you. Shifty looking you are.
So Great Aunt Loretta thought Grandpa was a doll.
And Mrs. McWhisket won't like dogs in the kitchen, so you watch out.
Meanwhile, Grandpa had jumped off the dresser and was now on the kitchen table. He started to knock things off. First the sardine tins, then the banana, then the mustard jar, then the cockles, then the jam, then the lobster, then the lettuce, and finally the open tub of ice cream. The temptation of ice cream was too much for Wolfie. Well, after all, it was a very hot day. The second part of Grandpa's plan was to hide everything. But then he heard the doorbell. And then he heard this.
What's going on in here? Whoa. Oh, you! That dog! It's been all over this table. Oh, I feel all hot and peculiar. Oh, Dad, and get a bowl out there for the tomato.
Grandpa quickly hid behind the toaster.
Oh, come on, hurry up. Any minute Mrs. McWhisket will be here.
Mrs. McWhisket here. Oh, I rang the bell and didn't get an answer, so I came round the back.
Afraid the tea's not quite ready yet.
Tea's not quite ready, you say? My dear, the tea is all over the floor, and there's a wee scraggy-looking dog eating ice cream out of the tub. How perfectly horrible. Shoo, you! Shoo! This is no place for dogs.
I was just going to mash some tomatoes for the tomato sauce.
I'll do the
To go with the ice
mashing.
cream. Oh.
I'm not just a great whisker. I'm a great masher, too.
Oh, you squirted me. Oh, I don't want to be squirted. Here, I'll do the mashing.
Oh.
And Great Aunt Loretta chased her around the table.
Come on, give it to me. I'll do it.
Oh, a lobster just tripped me up. Oh, out of the kitchen, you two. This is no place for wee children. This is a health hazard.
It's perfectly harmless.
Take it away.
It won't hurt you.
No, I don't like the whiskery bits. Put it down. Thank you, Loretta. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so hot. Is it always this hot in Sunnysands?
No, it's an especially hot day. What you need is a glass of green gloop. Nothing like a glass of green gloop to cool you.
So that's how you cool down in Sunnysands, is it? You get covered in glue.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Oh, I'm getting a towel. Mrs. McWhisket's covered in glue.
And Great Aunt Loretta dashed upstairs.
Should we go in?
No! I needed an idea.
Tell you what, go and help Great Aunt Loretta find a towel. I'll listen here.
I knew Grandpa would be up to something any minute.
Sunnysands, eh? Oh, I'd heard such great things about the place. Miss Smiley's cafe is full of wonderful recipes, but here, there's bunkers, lobster ice cream and green gloop and a tiny wee chef. A tiny wee chef.
Pedro Perfecto, at your service.
This time, Grandpa had gone too far.
What would you like, huh? I can make anything in the world. I can make a spaghetti, a macaroni, linguine, tortellini, pizza with a crispy base, pizza with a not so crispy base.
Grandpa was going through every dish he knew.
Frankfurters, the fries. How you like some ice cream, huh?
A wee chef is talking to me. A wee chef is talking to me.
And with that, she ran into the garden.
She's run into the garden. I think she's just very hot and bothered.
Hot and bothered. Oh, very
A wee chef was talking to me.
A chef? Where?
In there. A wee talking chef.
Oh, don't be silly.
Just then, the doorbell rang.
That'll be your mum, Dora. Quick, you've got to go.
Before I knew it, Grandpa was back on the table, but he had to hide. He dived under the lobster and...
Did he talk to you? Did the chef talk to you?
No, the lobster. The lobster ran across the table towards me.
Come up here, where they can't get at us.
So they looked at each other, looked at the pond, and decided to jump. Then they decided to laugh.
I think we just got hot and bothered.
I think we just needed to cool down.
Great Aunt Loretta! Catch!
I left them playing in the pond, and I ran inside to find Grandpa.
Put Pedro's clothes back on him, Jason.
Well done, Grandpa. Now cap off, quick.
So Grandpa took off his cap and came back to his normal size.
Oh, well, Jason, we stopped Aunt Loretta from making her weird food for Mrs. McWhisket.
Yes, Grandpa. And I think they're going to be friends for life now.
Teamwork, eh?
Teamwork.
Later, Great Aunt Loretta and Mrs. McWhisket were definitely friends for life.
I was so hot and bothered. I thought I was chased by a lobster.
And I thought a wee chef was talking to me.
What would you like? I can do a spaghetti, macaroni, linguine, jammy jomly.
Do you know something? He sounded just like that. The wee chef.
Family in Hairy Land, and we're the Hairy Fairies, telling all the stories
and singing in a band.
We had a little accident with our magic and turned the world hairy.
Oh, how tragic!
We ran out of spells in our hairy fairy tree,
But they don't care.
they love to be hairy. Ha ha Hairies, finding all the laughter in Hairy Land. Ma, Pa,
And Minnie.
and don't forget there's Nana.
And Chihua Ha Ha, the hairy cat.
But up on the hill in Chateau Shampoo, there's Boris Boo-Hoo.
And Boris too.
Boris is trouble, you wait and see. But they don't care, they love to be hairy. Hairies. I tell you what, Wiggy, that ride has made me really hungry.
Every ride makes me hungry. Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
What shall we have for tea?
I don't know.
Hairy berry cake.
Or maybe hairy pear cake.
No, I know. Hairy hedge nut cake.
Hey, that reminds me.
It reminds me too. Oh, there was a cake day in Hairyland.
Oh, you've got to hear this one. One day we were flying around Hairyland looking for adventure.
Picky papa, picky papa, picky papa me round Hairyland, round Hairyland.
I am quick
And I am Wiggy
with a hairy fairy band. Woo! We reached the Ha Ha Hairies garden just as Ma arrived home in the Fluffer Poop.
We landed in the bumblebee. Watch out! Pa and Minnie were very excited to see Ma back.
And so was Chihua Ha Ha.
Ma was excited too. She had a plan to make everyone happy. Well, you know what Ma's like.
Ha ha. She's got a heart of gold.
A ha ha heart of gold.
A ha ha heart of gold. She's always having fun
There's fun for everyone.
under the hairy sun. She's got a heart of gold.
Ma's got a heart of gold.
A ha 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 heart of gold. Yes, Ma had brought all the things you need for a special treat. Woohoo!
Because today was the day to bake a Ha Ha Hairy cake.
Up on the hill at Chateau Shampoo, someone was watching. Can you guess who? Boris Boo-Hoo, what's he gonna do? Who? Boris saw Ma getting ready to make the Ha Ha Hairy cake.
He wanted cake too. Hairy apple cake.
So he rang the Boise bell.
And Boise came running.
Boris told Boise to go to the hairy apple orchard and pick some hairy apples.
And to come back straight away.
at the Ha Ha Hairies' house, Pa had the same idea as Boris.
Hairy apples! They needed hairy apples for the cake.
Minnie Ha Ha said she would go and pick some hairy apples.
So off she went to the hairy apple orchard.
Boise was already in the hairy apple orchard picking hairy apples when who should come along but...
Minnie Ha Ha!
Boise did what he always does when he sees Minnie.
Boise gave Minnie lots of the hairy apples he just picked. Minnie was really happy.
She invited him to join the cake making, and off they went.
Boris had been watching through the hairy stairy, and he was furious. If he couldn't make a cake, he'd just have to get cake another way.
So what he needed was a plan. Boris needs a plan, he needs a plan as quick as he can. He needs to plan a big surprise.
He needs to plan his destiny.
What'll it be? What'll it be?
Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico, the most famous chef in Hairyland.
Back at the Ha Ha Hairies' house,
Ma was sifting flour.
and Pa was weighing hairy berries. But just then,
There was a knock at the door.
Pa was so surprised to see Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico, the most famous chef in Hairyland.
First, Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico wanted to check the hairy berries. He was about to taste one when...
Blah, blah!
It was Nana, with a whole basket of hairy pears.
And when Nana saw Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico, she twiddled his moustache. And I tried to copy her.
Get off! Watch!
Only Quiff doesn't have a moustache.
And so the big cake make began. They're gonna make a hairy cake.
They're gonna mix it.
Gonna mash it, and there's no time to waste.
Add a little bit of this.
And a little bit of that. And now it's time for a taste. Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico tasted the cake mixture.
Ooh. And again, and again, and again.
And the Ha Ha Hairies were waiting to see if he liked it.
And they saw he'd eaten the whole lot.
He said it needed more hairy hedge nuts and hairy berries.
So they started all over again.
Gonna make a hairy cake.
They're gonna mix it.
Gonna mash it, and there's no time to waste.
Add a little bit of this.
And a little bit of that. And now it's time for a taste. And Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico tasted the cake mixture.
And again, and again, and...
And the Ha Ha Hairies waited to see if he liked it. And... So they started all over again. They're gonna make a hairy cake.
They're gonna mix it.
Gonna mash it.
Gonna put it in the tin. Add a little more of this.
And a little more of that.
So open up the oven and put that Ha Ha hairy cake in.
But Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico had eaten so much cake mixture, he needed to go outside.
He was feeling very, very sick.
And Chihua Ha Ha knew that it wasn't Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico. It was Boris.
Back in the house, the cake was ready to decorate.
It was time to put the Ha Ha into the hairy cake.
Beep beep. Yep, time to make it funny. And who better to help than Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico?
So Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico put hairy pears round the cake.
But Pa made it funnier by using them as ears.
Then Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico gave the cake hairy berry eyes.
But Ma made it funnier by drawing on silly glasses.
Then Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico used the carrot as a mouth.
But Nana made it funnier by using it as a nose.
And at last the cake was done.
And it was hilarious.
It was time to eat it. The others went inside to get plates and spoons.
Now was Boris's chance to get that cake.
He couldn't resist the carrot nose. But just then, Chihua did this.
Oh, nits! Can you guess what had happened?
Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico had left his Moustachio Magnifico on the cake.
Now everyone would see it was Boris. So off he ran as fast as his skinny malinky legs would carry him.
All thanks to Chihua Ha Ha.
The Ha Ha Hairies came back outside. They were sad Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico had gone.
And then they saw it. Good old Monsieur Moustachio Magnifico. What a great chef.
The Ha Ha Hairy cake wasn't just hairy. It was the funniest cake they've ever made. Back at Chateau Shampoo, Boris, covered in cake, was not happy.
But then that kind of serves him right for being so greedy.
Boo!
We've been so busy telling this story, we haven't made our cake.
You're right! Quick, come on, hairy berry cake, right?
Right. Actually, didn't we say hairy pear cake?
Hairy hedge nut, that was it.
What about hairy pear and hairy hedge nut?
Or even hairy pear, hairy berry and